Probably the question I get the most is which stockbroker to use. And there are many to choose from, but the one that I've been using the longest and where I keep my biggest part of my portfolio is Interactive Brokers. However, I think for beginners, it can often be a little bit overwhelming. I mean, look at this. This is the dashboard you're going to get if you log into the web interface. Really a lot of numbers over here. Then you go into your portfolio and even more numbers. You click into any of your holdings, you go in there. The graphs are super overwhelming, super technical, very complicated. So if you're just starting to invest, this might seem a little bit intimidating, especially in times where people want to trade on the go. And we have amazing brokers that I use myself, such as Lightyear and Trading 212. They have amazing, powerful, and user-friendly interfaces that people enjoy. So what are your options if you still want to stick with Interactive Brokers? Because after all, they are one of the longest serving and biggest brokers in the world, being stock listed in America. So it's a real trusted broker. That's why I keep the majority of my funds over there. So if you still want to use them, in this video, I want to share with you not just one, not two, but actually 3 apps made by Interactive Brokers for different needs. I'm going to run you through each of them and share with you my thoughts as to which one I would recommend depending on where you are on your investing journey. So if you want to get an overview for yourself, obviously just head over to Interactive Brokers, click on trading over here, and there you can see platforms. And here you see all the various platforms. You can see there's a lot, obviously you have the workstation, desktop station, the mobile, another mobile, client portal, API, another portal, and a last app. But obviously I'm going to take you through each app and show you what it can do. Obviously the first thing you want to be doing in order to use any of those apps is to create your own Interactive Brokers account. And if you haven't done so yet, I have a number of videos around the topic to walk you through the process, give you some tips and tricks, insights into the app and platform to get the most out of it. Please use my link down in the description below. It really helps out the channel a lot at no extra cost for you. Right, so the first one we're going to be looking at is IBKR. Now that's obviously standing for Interactive Brokers. Here we'll get to the second one in a moment. So let's open it up over here. And this is what you're going to be seeing first time you log in. Obviously, depending on whether you already have an account or not. If you're just starting off, obviously you may not have any money in there. So you would want to send some money into your account and then you can start investing. But yeah, that's probably the most complete app that resembles the web interface where you can do most of the things that you can do on the web. You can do on that particular app as well. Because it can do so much, it might also be a little bit overwhelming for beginners. I can click into performance over here. Let's say 1 year performance up 16%, not too bad. And then yeah, from here you can go down, you can see your positions, which are up, which are down, unrealized P&L, the market value. So really quite interesting. And honestly, they have been improving the app quite a bit. It used to be way messier in the past, so I'm happy that they are cleaning up and constantly improving. So they're listening to the consumers because a lot of people are saying how bad the interface was. But really, I must say, since I've been using it for a number of years, it's been getting better and better every single year. So there is hope, don't worry. But yeah, still quite a little bit overwhelming. You see here the upcoming portfolio events, obviously, so that might be interesting. If you're a dividend investor, you see here when the next dividend payments are being paid, etc. You can learn here, etc. So quite a few things that you can do. Obviously, then you want to jump into your portfolio holdings. And once again, it might be a little bit overwhelming, right? If I compare the Trading 212 or Lightyear, that's usually much easier. You have the company logo. I can see immediately what it is and much more easy on the eye. Here, it is a little bit more technical, professional, I would say, but still, it obviously does everything it should. So if you're comfortable with it, you can get the most out of it. So let's click into one of the holdings that I have, Realty Income. And once again, one click is not enough. You have to click a second time to get into it. And from here, you have all the various things you have to do. And honestly, it really has so much more information than the other stocks have. So if you need that kind of information in order for you to make buying decisions on the go, then definitely you want to be going with this app because analyst ratings and what have you, dividends, it's really nicely presented. Actually, much more than you would have with the other apps. Short selling, it's highlighted over here, securities lending. You can even trade options over here. So yeah, if that's important for you, then definitely go ahead with this one. And of course, you could pull up and extend even more some of the KPIs over here, scroll around, edit it how you like it. You can change the graph settings. A lot of things that you can do over here that you can't do elsewhere. For example, if I click into analyst ratings over here, a whole new menu pulls up and there I have so many different information. I can go also into the ownership, right? See who's the owner of certain things. So basically all the information that I get on the web, which sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming over there, here you have it on the go. So if that's important for you, I really recommend you go with that app. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but just start playing around with it and see if you like it or not. Then of course, if you want to go ahead and buy share, just click on buy. And then it will pull up the usual buying menu, the same as that you have on the web interface. And from here, you can change your quantity, or if you click on the right drop down over here, you can change it to shares if you buy in full shares. Otherwise, you can click on the amount and then buy fractional shares, right? I could buy fractional shares as to up to a certain amount how I wish. I can change the order type over here. And then before buying, I can click on preview over here to see any kind of commissions that will be applicable. In this case, it will be 35 cents, which once again is really competitive. And I love it because you'll get some of the best prices. One of the smallest spread, the difference between the bid and the ask price, because some brokers, they give you commission-free trading, but actually the difference difference between what is traded at the market versus what you're paying for the particular stock is quite high. So they technically bake their commission into the difference and make money from that. So here it's very transparent. You do pay a small commission, but one of the best prices at the particular moment. If you wanted to buy it, click on submit buy order and boom, it will be done and executed. So you don't even have to use the web interface for that. It can really all be done through the mobile app. But I already bought my S&P 500 ETF today, so I don't want to buy any more stocks. So let's exit out of it. And yes, if you click at the top left over here, you have your profile and you can do all the various settings, changes. You see your transactions, your orders, your alerts, messaging center. So really all the things you need and you're used to from the web interface, you will have them over here. So it's really convenient. I quite like that. In the beginning, I didn't like the app, but now I probably use it the most because I'm kind of used to it. So now I really appreciate all the insights and value I get out of it. So if you have a bit of experience and been with interactive brokers over some time, then that will be the app for you. If you're just buying and holding and really don't care about logging in and checking your portfolio, then I think the next app will be better for you. And that's called GlobalTrader. So I think it's a much sleeker and cleaner interface. So if you have one account, you can use all the apps, all the various platforms they are, with your one login details. You can see it's in light mode, but you could also change it to dark mode. So that's an option, even though usually I prefer dark mode. I can see my performance and value, same as I did on the other app, but in a way it's a little bit more simpler and easier on the eye. My top holdings over here, mostly news driven and performance driven. So that's great. If I go over to my portfolio, you can see easier to read, right? It's small things, but still it makes it a bit more attractive on the eye. For me, it has more room to breathe. It's easier to digest. And yeah, I just enjoy it. If I click into the same, let's say realty income, I click into it right away. I'm taking to my stock. I see a little logo over there. I mean, it's small things, but for a beginner investor, that's important, right? To understand, because otherwise you just see ticker symbols and it might be really overwhelming. And what am I actually buying, right? The ticker symbol is O, you don't see a logo. So I think it's good that they have that option as well for more beginner investors and make it easier. Of course, you can also change the charting settings a little bit, but overall, they don't really give you too many options, and that's nice. It's not too overwhelming, as I said. Then you have still your calendar events over here, upcoming dividends and what have you, the most important bits and pieces, but that's about it, right? They don't overwhelm you with things. Company information, of course, you should be having this, and then the analyst rating, I've shown you before, but I can't actually click into this. So it's rather limited what I can get out of the app here versus what I can get in the web interface or of course in the previous app as I've shown you. So again, for most people, that'll be more than plenty, right? They don't want to be doing all that stock deep dive. So that might be enough to do a buying decision. That's quite similar to Trading 212 or Lightyear, which also doesn't aim to overwhelm you with information, because if you overwhelm people with information, they might end up not using the app at all and go to something more simple. So I like that they have that option as well. If you wanted to buy more of it, click on buy over here. And yes, the menu, as you can see, is just cleaner and I like it. For most people, they don't want to have all these different options. They want to buy a stock at the market price. That's all you want to do. I can click from dollars to shares. And that's it. It should be so simple not to have a drop down, then select at the bottom. So it's just too messy if you don't know where to look for. So here I really like it that you can go ahead, just change the amount, done. That's it. Time and force today. Here you have only 3 different market order types. Before you had, 6, 7 different order types. And for most people, they want the market order. Yes, maybe limit, maybe stop, but that's about it. More than that, it's just unnecessarily overcomplicating things. And then you could either slide to buy, which we're used to from other brokers. So I like that feature. People like to swipe on the phone, right? Of course, you should always go ahead first before you buy anything. Click on preview just to make sure you're buying the right thing, the right amount, and of course to see the commission. So once again, commission is the same as I buy through the US. That's what I'll be getting. And if I'm fine with this, then I could go ahead, submit to buy, and they'll be added to my portfolio right away. Of course, you also have your watch list over here. And if you wanted to explore a little bit of other stocks, you could get some inspiration here, which I quite like. The popular list like thematic ETFs, which is cool, to buy certain ETFs around a certain topic. So that's really interesting to get some inspiration, find specific stocks by region, what have you. So I quite like how simple they make it. Your profile settings, you get a nice clean overview, very simple. Withdraw, deposit, you see a transaction overview, settings. So you can do a little bit less than with the other app, but most people, they don't want to do all these things on the phone, if at all. So here you really have the most important for the everyday investor. So for me, I really enjoyed that app. As soon as it came out, I started using it. Mostly I used it for a very long time and I really enjoyed it. Now in recent times, as I said, I switched to the IBKR app because it does offer a few more features that I do use from time to time. For most people, if they're just getting into investing and don't have too many requirements, this is honestly an amazing app which makes it simpler, takes out all the unnecessary complications that interactive brokers does offer. And in this case, you really focus on simple buying and selling and keeping track of your portfolio. So I really enjoy it. Definitely check it out. Anyways, if you have one login, you can try all the various apps, but this would be my recommendation for most people. But as I mentioned, we actually have a third app, believe it or not, that Interactive Brokers came out with. Honestly, I don't know why they have so many different apps. It does have a specific purpose. So let's dive right in. The app is called Impact. It may not look like a stock trading app. I also thought it was a meditation app at first, but it actually is a trading app. So let's open it up over here. And once again, you can use the same logins for all of the apps. The first thing you will see is not your portfolio development over time, but actually your impact score. So the impact score is basically taking your various ESG impact, various investments and companies that you own have on the world, so to say, right? There are many different aspects to it. It could be social impact, ethical concerns. It basically looks at all of these various things and puts them into one basket and gives it a score. So you can see how your investments impact the world at large. So I would really say if you're conscious about ESG investing and how your investments have an impact on the world, then I think that's your app because they really put it front and center. Now you could get the same information on the web or of course on the IBKR app, but it's much more hidden away. So here, if that's one of the important things for you, you really care and you're like a moral investor and you want to make sure that your investments are good investments from an ESG standpoint, then definitely that's the app to go. If you want to see more about it, you can click into the impact lens over here and you'll get deeper insights as to the impact your portfolio is having. So you can see, ocean life, consumer safety, clean air, land health, pure water, sustainable life cycle. So a lot of things. I can click into the pencil icon over here and kind of say what is important for me and not important. And based on that, they will rank your portfolio. So if certain things are not important for you and other things are more important, you might have a different score than me, even though we invest into the same thing. So it's really cool. And you can see a few red flags. So for example, animal testing is flagged over here. If I click into it, it shows me Altria Group, a smoking company. Apparently they do some animal testing. So I don't know what it means. I could go now on the internet and look up Altria animal testing, see what they exactly do. And if I don't feel comfortable with it, well then I should be selling the share. And to be honest, I will actually be selling Altria eventually. I'm just hoping for them to come back a little bit. So I'm break even. I'll exit out of the position. Not necessarily because of that, even though I'm really against animal testing, but here you can really see these red flags. So I quite like that. If that's really dear to your heart, then definitely look into this and can make your investment journey so much easier. You can really cleanly see what has an impact, what has not. And then obviously for me, I can toggle to performance also to see my general performance. And that's pretty similar to the GlobalTrader app I've just shown you before. I could go into realty income over here. Again, front and center, impact value alignment, high. That's always the focus of the app to talk about impact alignment. So the rest is very similar, to be honest, in many ways, like a GlobalTrader app. It really has pretty much the same interface with the logo over here and actually market data. So that's all presented the same way. You can see very familiar. I could click on preview over here. So it's pretty much exactly the same interface. And you could change it to dark mode, but yeah, overall it feels light. If investing for you is not only about the numbers, but also the impact you're having with your investments, then definitely that app is a no-brainer. So there you have it. 3 different apps for 3 different purposes. And as a quick summary, I believe the IBKR app is the best app. If you already have experience with Interactive Brokers, you've been investing for a longer period and you're comfortable with the entire platform, you know what you're doing, then I think that app will give you the most features and functions on the go. I use it myself. I don't love it yet, but I've definitely come to appreciate it. Now, if you want an app that's easier on the eye, easier to understand and easier to navigate, then definitely the GlobalTrader app is for you. It really does most of the things that IBKR app does, but in a cleaner and more user-friendly way. So definitely that's the way to go. I started off with that app. I really recommend you to check it out. If there are some features missing that you would like to have, then later on you can always shift to the IBKR app. And lastly, if you're really concerned investing into things that really align with your own values, then definitely go for the Impact app. I hope this made things a little bit clearer and you don't only have to rely and use the web interface. If you still have any other questions, pop them down in the comments below. I'll get back to every single one of you. If you made it until the end of the video, I appreciate you. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!